Incursion Red River is an extraction shooter similar to games like Tarkov, but this one stands out as its main focus is on a solo or co-op experience with no PvP. It's a lot more simplistic where anyone can pick it up and play, but it still has a lot to learn even in its early access state. Today I'm going to cover everything you need to know to get started. I'll leave all the timestamps on screen now for everything I'm about to cover. If you think I missed anything, feel free to share your tips in the comments. When you first enter your hideout, it's worth taking a look at the settings to change any toggles or key bindings to your liking. You can change the graphics settings in-game at any time if you are having trouble with performance. Make sure you check your upscale quality as this could cause performance issues. If this is your first extraction shooter, I'd recommend starting out on the easiest difficulty and then upping it as you get a feel for the game and acquire better equipment. You can also change the AI difficulty in the menu and even fully customize it to your preference. Welcome to your hideout. This serves as your hub world in between raids. If you press tab, you can open your inventory where you will find some starting items. While you are in your hideout, you won't use up any ammo, so feel free to go test out your weapons at the shooting range. This wooden box over here will be your stash, where you will also find some items to start you out. You'll want to keep all the items in your stash that you do not want to take on a raid with you. Your cash will also be here as an item. Make sure it always stays in your stash as there's no reason to bring it with you and you could lose all of your money. You can organise your equipment with these tabs at the top. This will change the inventory slots on the right to put away specific items. You will only be able to put weapons and weapon parts in the weapon stash, ammo and magazines in ammunition, rigs and helmets in gear, and painkillers and adrenaline injections in medical. There are some tricks you can use to save space. For example, you can store backpacks inside your other backpacks and still use one to store items. You can also store ammo and magazines in your rigs and then keep them in your gear tab. You can pay to upgrade your storage if you find yourself running out of room. When you go to open your computer, you will have a selection of menus. First, you will have your inbox, where you will find a welcome message from the game's 3 different factions: VLF, UICS and IGC. The job board is where you will find contracts from factions you can take on. Each contract can be from any of the 3 factions and will improve the reputation for that faction if you can complete them. But it will also decrease reputation if you fail their mission. You can filter different mission types on the left of the screen. Next to contracts, you will also find challenges. These are small objectives factions will give you for extra rewards. Make sure you track your contracts and challenges or they will not progress. You can track up to 1 contract and 3 challenges at any time. When you complete a contract or a challenge, head to your inbox where you'll find a message congratulating you on your success and a button to claim your rewards. Your rewards will head straight to your stash. Try and keep an area at the top of your stash clear to find your mission rewards easily. If your stash is full, you won't be able to claim any rewards. The Trader tab is your shop. Here you can look to purchase any items you need. Some items will be locked behind faction rank. You can see the logo of the faction you need to level up in order to purchase that item. When looking at items like attachments, you can right click them and search for compatible items in the store. You can also double click the picture of an attachment and go to compatible items. This will show you the items you own that this will work with. You can favourite any items and they will appear in the favourites tab. When purchasing items, remember to press purchase on the bottom right after you've added them to the cart. Everything you buy will head straight to your stash, so make sure you have room. If you want to sell anything, you can just right click any of your items outside the store and press sell. Deploy is where you go when you're ready to start. You can create a party to invite people or open your lobby to matchmaking. Honestly, I've heard the matchmaking experience hasn't been great as this game has friendly fire, so take that as you will. Currently there is only one map, the Quarry. You can check the expected weather when hovering over the location. Select on the location and then you can decide on your arrival time. This will determine how bright it will be outside when you arrive. Deploying in the daytime is easier to see, but deploying in the nighttime will reduce enemies' visions, but it will make it more difficult for you to navigate the map. A flashlight attachment could help you get through the dark, and later on when you unlock the night vision, you can even choose to deploy in the nighttime to get the jump on your enemies. You'll have the option to use your custom loadout or a provided loadout. When using a provided one, you will be given items to use, but anything you find you won't keep when extracting. That being said, I'd almost always recommend using your custom loadout, unless you want to complete a mission without any risk of losing items. Painkillers are your source of healing. You won't start out with any, but you can purchase them from the Trader tab and find them in raids. When you've taken damage, all you need to do is double click them to use one. You can track your health at the bottom of the screen. Adrenaline injections are used to revive teammates, so always take one with you if playing with a squad. If someone goes down, all you have to do is hold your interaction key on their body to use your injection and bring them back. There is no time limit to reviving your teammates. Before you head out, let's go over what you'll want to take with you. You'll always want to take a primary weapon like an AK or M4 as you'll find yourself in long range battles often. It's quite easy to find new weapons every run, so don't hesitate to bring your best ones. If you feel like you've lost a lot of gear after a few failed runs, you can always go in with just a sidearm, stock up on weapons and then extract. Having a sidearm along with your rifle will always be helpful in tricky situations. Make sure you always have a rig on you to store your spare magazines, ammo and medical supplies. Always take a backpack so you have room for loot once you start scavenging. You'll want a helmet on as it can be the key to your survival in a firefight. Your rig and helmet will display health. They will block damage for you until they hit 0. Once they hit 0, it's worth swapping them out for a new one. You can find new rigs on most enemies you loot. Just keep an eye on how much damage theirs has taken. Welcome to the quarry. As of right now, you will always spawn at this location where you deploy. If you have a contract that requires placing items, you will find a wooden box in front of you with them inside. If you press 4, you will bring out your GCPS to view the map. You will have all your tracked contracts and challenges progress at the top left. You can check the time at the top right. Hold left click to move around the map and scroll wheel to zoom in and out. When doing a contract, you will always find your objectives on the map as white icons. You can move around with your GCPS out to help line up with objectives a bit easier. You can also leave pings with the middle mouse button that your teammates will be able to see on their map. When you are ready to extract, look for these exit icons. Standing in these areas will start to count down your extraction time. When it hits 0, you will have extracted with all your loot. When doing missions, you will need to extract after completing the objective or else you will fail. Some extraction sites are only open at certain times. You can check when they next open or close by hovering over them. As of right now, these are the extraction points that are always open. There will be lots of containers throughout the map that you can open and find items inside. Here is what all the current lootable containers look like. The red containers are where you will find medical items, and the long cases have a higher chance of having weapons inside. A good thing to remember is that when you first spawn, you will always find a medical container behind you. There is also a small container you can find just to the left of the spawn. You will find lots of miscellaneous items, such as food containers, bedrolls, fuel, etc. Some challenges will have you sell certain items on the market, so it's worth keeping a couple of each items in your stash. However, if it's clogging up your inventory, don't hesitate to sell them and find more when you actually need to. I've made a small list here of the current selling prices of a lot of general items. Basically, it's always worth taking computer parts. Duct tape is also valuable, but everything else sells for around 40. The best way to make money at the end of the day is to sell weapons. So if you have space to bring back a spare weapon to sell, it's definitely worth it. Always take painkillers whenever you find them. You can never have too many healing items. You can quick loot with control left click. You won't have a sight attachment when you start out, so be careful in long range combat. Try going for a stealth approach on your first raid so you can get the jump on enemies. Always check their bodies for new weapons. They can spawn with a variety of attachments that can be useful for you. If you double click a weapon, you can see all its attachments and simply take them. Keep an eye on your health, as one bullet can do a lot of damage. Under your health, you will see a stamina bar and a strength bar. Stamina will go down when sprinting, and strength determines how long you can aim down sight for. You will be able to tell when enemies are near you as you will hear their footsteps. And often they will talk, even when alone.
You got any spare water left?
They will not always spawn in the same place, but usually around the same areas. Make sure you check watchtowers, as enemies have a chance to spawn in them. If you get spotted, they will always try to push you. So if you are taking fire, get to cover, listen closely, and wait for them to reveal themselves to you. They can be alerted to your footsteps, so try and be careful when treading around their territory. They also have the ability to call for help when they notice you, so be prepared to be outnumbered. Patrols have a chance to spawn around the map. These are large groups of enemies. They might be worth avoiding until you are ready. Keep an eye on what fire mode you're set on. Most rifles are semi-auto by default, but using X can swap them to full auto. When running raids at night, the AI's visibility will be reduced, so you'll have an advantage if you're running a night vision setup. You want to make sure your spare mags are in your rig, or they won't be available to reload. If your rig is full when reloading a weapon, you will drop your current mag to put in the new one, but you can look below and pick up the other mag if you still need it. If you want to fill up a magazine, you'll need to manually put bullets in one. You can also right click a magazine to unload the ammunition from them. Most doors in this game have 3 interaction options. Open normally, peek through to check for enemies, and if locked there will be an option to remove the lock and open it. You do not need any specific item to unlock doors. When you take down an enemy, make sure to wait before looting in case you alert anyone nearby. You will not want to get a heart attack from flanking enemies while looting. So there you have it, you are ready to tackle Incursion Red River. I hope this guide has been helpful, and be sure to stick around if you want to see more Incursion Red River content. Thanks for watching and have fun raiding, gamer.